It surfaced like a nightmare the West hoped would never become real. A black metal giant still steaming from the Arctic cold, pushed out of the Severodvinsk Hall. Not quietly, and not ceremonially, but like a weapon announcing itself to the world. The ground shook. Sirens wailed inside the shipyard. Crews scrambled as the doors opened, and a silhouette the length of 120 meters rolled into the floodlights. This wasn't just another Russian submarine. This was Khabarovsk, the first submarine in history built to carry a 20-meter, 100-ton, nuclear-powered, nuclear-armed torpedo that can roam the ocean for thousands of kilometers before detonating with multi-megaton force. And here's the part that stunned Western intelligence. Just 2 days before this rollout, Putin announced Russia's first successful long-range Poseidon test, meaning the weapon actually works. A torpedo the size of a bus, powered by a nuclear reactor, moving silently at 50 to 70 knots, around 92 to 130 kilometers per hour, deep under the ocean, striking a coastline with enough force to erase a major port city. Now, imagine a submarine that carries 6 of them. That submarine is no longer a rumor. It's real, it's alive, and it's now Russia's most terrifying underwater asset. As officers watched the champagne bottle explode against its hull, NATO analysts stared at satellite photos with disbelief. The moment Khabarovsk touched the water, every anti-submarine strategy built since the Cold War became obsolete. Welcome to military power. Today we reveal how Russia built a submarine around a doomsday weapon, how this technology changes the balance of the oceans, and why NATO now faces a threat it cannot intercept, cannot outrun, and cannot ignore. To understand how Russia created the Khabarovsk, you have to go back to the early 2000s, when Moscow's naval leadership realized that the classic Cold War formula was aging out. The Soviet answer to American missile defense had always been to build bigger submarines, longer-range ballistic missiles, and hide them under the Arctic ice. But by 2014, the Kremlin saw a storm coming. Modern U.S. missile defense networks, new anti-submarine sensors, budget pressure, sanctions, and a war that would soon demand every ruble. The missile submarine model needed a mutation, something that could slip under every radar, every interceptor, every early warning satellite. That mutation became the Poseidon program, and Khabarovsk is the first submarine built around it from day one. Russia had tested the concept earlier with Belgorod, an Oscar II cruise missile submarine gutted and rebuilt into a massive special missions craft. Belgorod proved Poseidon could fit into a submarine hull, and it could be launched. But it also revealed the limitations. The Oscar II chassis was too large, too noisy, too old. So Rubin Design Bureau was ordered to design something leaner, quieter, and optimized entirely for Poseidon. The foundation was the Borei class. Borei introduced a new level of acoustic stealth for Russia, powered by the OK-650 series nuclear reactor, generating around 190 megawatts, driving a 6-bladed pump jet propulsor. With this platform, Borei could move at roughly 29 knots submerged, or about 54 kilometers per hour, without revealing much on sonar. Khabarovsk inherits the same philosophy. Its nuclear reactor is almost certainly an OK-650V variant, providing essentially unlimited underwater endurance. At cruising speeds of 10 to 12 knots, it can remain submerged for months. At flank, analysts expect around 30 to 32 knots, roughly 55 to 60 kilometers per hour. This puts it on par with the quietest strategic submarines ever built by Russia. But Khabarovsk is not a ballistic missile submarine. It is smaller, about 112 to 120 meters long, compared to Borei's nearly 170 meters. Its submerged displacement is about 10,000 tons. The towering missile compartment is gone, replaced with a reinforced bay for 6 Poseidon nuclear-powered torpedoes. That change alone rewires its mission, crew layout, combat systems, and life support architecture. Each Poseidon is enormous, around 20 meters long, 1.8 meters in diameter, and weighing close to 100 tons. Inside is a miniature fast neutron nuclear reactor that allows this weapon to travel for thousands of kilometers. Western intelligence estimates a range of at least 5,000 to 10,000 kilometers. Its speed profile is what terrifies planners. In cruising mode, Poseidon likely travels at 20 to 30 knots, around 37 to 55 kilometers per hour, deep and quiet. In attack mode, Russian leaks claim 70 to 100 knots, around 130 to 185 kilometers per hour, using a supercavitation envelope. Most Western experts believe the real attack speed is closer to 50 to 70 knots, or 92 to 130 kilometers per hour. But even that outruns most anti-torpedo systems on the planet. The warhead is estimated between 2 and 4 megatons. Some Russian sources claim a special warhead that maximizes contamination. Even at the low end, a detonation near a coastline could obliterate port facilities, naval bases, and urban waterfronts while spreading radioactive fallout for tens of kilometers. To manage a weapon like this, Khabarovsk carries an upgraded command suite. Its communication systems are tuned to Russia's VLF stations, including the Arctic transmitters at Severomorsk and the massive Vileka station in Belarus. It also likely carries deep-sea drones, such as the Klevasin 2 RPM for seabed scouting and under-ice reconnaissance. The sonar suite borrows heavily from Bore and Yasin, a spherical bow array, long flank arrays, and a towed passive array. In ideal conditions, these systems allow detection of large surface ships at ranges of 60 to 100 kilometers and submarines at much shorter but still significant distances, especially in Arctic thermal layers. But the submarine alone is not the whole weapon. Its ecosystem is what turns it into a strategic tool. When Khabarovsk leaves Severodvinsk, it is covered by Northern Fleet air power, MiG-31 interceptors patrolling the skies, Il-38 and Tu-14-2 maritime patrol aircraft sweeping for NATO submarines, and Project 22-350 frigates clearing the sea lanes. Under the ice, the submarine is protected by a network of seabed sensors, coastal S-400 and S-500 air defense systems, and satellite tracking from the Liana constellation, which monitors Western naval movements. Imagine a deployment. At night, escorted by a Yasin-class attack submarine and shadowed overhead by patrol aircraft, Khabarovsk slips into the Barents Sea. Its pump jet hums softly as it dives beneath the Arctic sheet. Days later, deep under the polar ice cap, it slows to 10 knots and waits. From here, it can launch Poseidon units that begin a long, silent migration toward the North Atlantic. No alarms, no missile launch signatures, just a weapon the size of a bus, moving invisibly through the deep. This is how Russia pulled it off, not by building a submarine, but by building a system designed to bypass everything the West has spent 70 years developing. The launch of Khabarovsk doesn't happen in a vacuum. It lands in the middle of a global submarine renaissance, a world where every major navy is rushing to update its underwater deterrent, expand its attack submarine force, and prepare for a future where the deep ocean becomes the most contested battle space on Earth. The question isn't only whether Khabarovsk is powerful, it's how it fits into a global race that now includes the United States, China, Britain, France, Germany, South Korea, Japan, and even Canada. For the United States, deterrence still rests on the massive Ohio-class SSBNs, the cornerstone of American nuclear power since the 1980s. These submarines carry 24 Trident 2D5 missiles with intercontinental reach, each one capable of multiple warheads that can hit targets thousands of kilometers apart. Yet the Ohio boats are aging, and so the U.S. Navy is building the Columbia-class, the most expensive submarines ever produced by any nation. Each Columbia will displace about 20,810 tons submerged and stretch roughly 171 meters, powered by a reactor designed to run for the entire 42-year service life without refueling. Deep within its missile compartment sit 16 Trident 2D5LE missiles, enough to ensure second strike even if much of the U.S. arsenal were destroyed. Columbia won't be fast, likely in the 20 to 25 knot range, about 37 to 46 kilometers per hour, but it will be almost undetectable, with machinery isolation, advanced coatings, and a new quieting drive system that analysts claim will make it quieter than even the Virginia-class. Across the Atlantic, Britain is finalizing the Dreadnought class. At about 17,000 tons and 153 meters, these submarines replace the Vanguard class and join the US-UK shared nuclear mission. Dreadnought borrows American technologies, including missile compartment tooling, and incorporates British automation to reduce crew size. Like Columbia, it carries Trident 2D5 missiles. Britain's goal isn't exotic new weapons, it's continuity, A constant nuclear presence at sea with at least one SSBN on patrol at all times, British planners prioritize low acoustic signatures and survivability, not experimental systems. Dreadnought's pump jet will give it smooth acceleration, and its stealth profile is expected to surpass anything the Royal Navy has previously fielded. China, meanwhile, is expanding faster than any other submarine power on Earth. The Type 094 SSBN, already in service, carries JL-2 missiles with ranges between 8,000 and 9,000 kilometers, allowing strikes against regional and continental targets. But Beijing's ambitions point to the future Type 096, rumored to displace over 20,000 tons, placing it in the same weight class as the U.S. Columbia. Analysts believe that Type 096 will carry the new JL-3 missile, potentially reaching 10,000 to 12,000 kilometers or more, giving China near global reach. The Type 094 cruises at around 20 to 22 knots, roughly 37 to 41 kilometers per hour, but is considered noisy by Western standards. The Type 096 is expected to be significantly quieter, with major investments in pump jets, anechoic tiles, and advanced reactor shielding. China's ambition is clear: parity with the United States, not in exotic systems like Poseidon, but in raw strategic mass. Enough submarines to guarantee second strike even under the harshest first strike scenarios. France maintains the Triumphant class, a fleet of 4 SSBNs displacing roughly 14,335 tons, each armed with the M51 missile family. The latest variant, MOD 51.3, extends range and accuracy, giving France a global deterrent comparable to other NATO powers. Triumphant-class boats travel around 25 knots, about 46 kilometers per hour, and emphasize deep ocean patrol endurance. They carry no experimental drones, no mega-torpedoes, no nuclear-powered munitions. France invests in reliability, hardened command links, secure patrol routes, and high-end sensors to evade detection. Germany and Norway take a completely different path with the Type 212CD program. These are not nuclear giants, but stealth hunters built for the northern seas. At around 2,500 tons and 73 meters, 212 CD subs use hydrogen fuel cells for virtually silent cruising, allowing weeks of submerged endurance with minimal noise. Their top speed is about 20 knots, 37 kilometers per hour, but their strength isn't speed. It's stealth in shallow waters. Where nuclear subs struggle, Germany's ambition is to create the quietest conventional submarine on Earth, capable of tracking enemy vessels in fjords, choke points, and Arctic passages where the acoustic environment is brutal. These submarines are meant to be invisible scalpels, not sledgehammers. Canada, facing an Arctic rapidly opening to traffic and foreign presence, may join the 212 CD fleet because its aging Victoria class, converted 1980s British subs, are nearing the end of their service lives. Canada needs a submarine that can operate under ice, navigate icy passages, and stay submerged without surfacing into hostile airspace. 212CD fits that profile. Not strategic, but essential for sovereignty in the Arctic Circle. South Korea's KSS-3 submarines offer something unusual for non-nuclear boats: vertical launch cells for ballistic and cruise missiles. At 83 meters and 3,700 tons, KSS-3 boats are designed for precision strikes against hardened North Korean sites. Their top speed is around 20 knots, 37 kilometers per hour, but their role goes beyond defense. They give Seoul a near-strategic regional punch. Japan's Taige class, powered by advanced lithium-ion batteries, can accelerate, maneuver, and remain silent longer than most conventional submarines at around 20 to 22 knots submerged, 37 to 41 kilometers per hour. Taige boats excel at anti-submarine warfare, protecting sea lanes and countering Chinese incursions around the Ryukyu Islands. Line them all up: Columbia, Dreadnought, Type 096, Triumphant, 212CD, KSS-3, Taige, and you notice something. Every navy is building submarines for missiles, torpedoes, surveillance, or classic deterrence. None of them are building a nuclear-powered underwater drone with multi-megaton payloads. None are shaping submarines around autonomous ocean-spanning weapons. Only Russia is doing that. Khabarovsk doesn't outperform Columbia or Dreadnought in stealth or missile firepower. It doesn't match Type 096 in future mass deployment, but it introduces a paradigm that none of them confront. A second-strike weapon that crawls along the seabed, invisible to missile defenses, armed with a warhead that can erase a coastline. Khabarovsk doesn't try to win a naval battle. It tries to redefine one. Subscribe to Military Power. Like the video so it reaches more people who follow real defense technology. And tell me in the comments, which country's next-generation submarine should we break down next? Thanks for watching, and until next time.